Kalimera, kalispera, kalinichta. Woo! No matter where in this wild, wacky, and today it is a wonderful world. My goodness. If anyone tells me they saw that coming, if anyone tells me they saw us scoring 7 goals in their sleep, I tell you something, I won't believe you. Who can believe it? Let's rock and roll, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Well. From my pure excitement, I totally forgot to upload the thumbnail. But thank goodness I remembered to invite my good mate, Mr. James Johnston, back to Squad Central to wax lyrical about the Arsenal. A very different atmosphere from the last time that we spoke. James, flash.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I try my best not to have my fizzy drinks during the week. So I've got my. I wish I had a 7-Up. It would be the perfect time to, do the advertisement. Other drinks are available. But yeah, oh my goodness. I mean, one of your lovely fans last week told me that I watched too much football, and before that, another one told me that I wouldn't find happiness in heaven. If they watch tonight, I swear to you, there is nothing I can complain about. I promise.
James.
It was insane. What happened? It was great.
I don't know, but we're going to talk about it. And, I wasn't very prepared because I had a lot going around the house today. We're moving things around. We've got a lot going on. And all of a sudden I realized, I was so enjoying the game that I can't remember the last time that's happened, by the way, probably 5-1 against Manchester City this season. And I realized, oh, wow, it's like 5 minutes to the show. And James will attest that I wasn't prepared because I was putting cameras up and I had to move everything. And anyway, it's a good place to be. But before we get stuck in, Chief Like Officer Tammy Steels, please do listen to her at ease, squaddies at ease. Thanks for everyone who is joining. Terence is here. Tammy's here. Carol's here. Michael is here. Let's see. Trev is in the house. We got Georgie George all the way from down under. Struth, mate, you're up early? Is it early now? Yeah, I think it's morning time. Yes. 10 is here. Mike is here. Marina's here. Ryan's here. Demsec is here. The whole fam jam, the Squaddy Nation is here. I haven't even put my phone back on vibrate. It's going crazy. What a night in Europe for the Arsenal. You bet 6-1. I need to see the receipt. I absolutely need to see the receipt because I don't believe you, mate. I really don't believe you. Seb's here. Harvey's here. Everyone's here. Matthew's here. Good evening, everyone. Wow, what a match. What a game. James, Arsenal was set brilliantly up tonight. I'm not in my usual zone, and I'm a Virgo. And so I'm feeling a little like I'm down here, I'm crouched there. But as long as you guys are cool, I'm cool as well. And who cares? Because we won. And I don't think anyone saw this coming. No one saw. Listen, I think we would have all been happy with a 1-0 win away from home, bring it back to the Emirates and close it out and face. I don't even know what the score was in the Madrid derby. What was it?
I believe they won 2-1. Real Madrid, sorry, I should specify. Yeah, I think Real. Well, they were 2-1 up when I last checked. But I can find out. But yeah, I think they won 2-1.
Okay. All right. Well, whoever it is, it's going to be tough. That Alvarez goal was ridiculous. Hello from Cape Town. Let us know where in the world you might be. Gooners getting together under very happy circumstances here. It was 2-1 to Real Madrid. Thank you, everyone. And Matthew is a Virgo as well. We've got all the important information out the way. Right. Let's start at the tippy top of the Champions League, Arsenal in Eindhoven Mountain, James, because there was only one moment in the game where I think all of our hearts sank. So why don't we just get that out? Because it's probably the only, is it negative? I think a little bit of luck. We were due a little bit of luck as Arsenal fans, and it came to us in the shape of a man with a whistle. If that was the Premier League, Miles Lewis-Skelly would have seen red. He would have been sent off, and things would have got a little bit testy in the old Netherlands tonight.
Well, they'd have sent him back to the Netherlands and put him in the Hague. They'd have put him in the Hague if it was in the Premier League, Sophie. He'd be on trial.
You know, one of the things I think he needs to calm it a little bit, and he doesn't need to try too hard. And you know, we saw the combination of the goal, Haaland to Haaland equals a Haaland goal, and that was a really, really beautiful moment. We would be talking a little bit differently, maybe. Thailand, welcome, Rich. Good to see you. And this is such a beautiful picture. I mean, look at this. This is the things that dreams are made of. Their bags are almost as big as they are. Look at the two of them, Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly, together, and then playing in the Champions League. Lewis-Skelly, brilliant work down the byline. Nwaneri in the most perfect place. Talk about confidence. This young man is ridiculously confident, but also he backs it up. He's so talented. It's ridiculous. We're going to get more stuck into him a little bit more. But Miles Lewis-Skelly, James, just a little bit, just calm down, just a tad. Because if that was the Premier League, I'm convinced it would have been a red card. And let the credit and the praise be as loud as the criticism when it comes to referees. But that referee made the right decision. Logic prevailed, James.
Yes, and do you know what as well? I'm one of the first people to critique the management. And even though it was 35 minutes and you could have let that go on for another 10 and done it at half time, to do it when they'd done it was perfect, because he knew one more and then he's gone. I know a lot of people say that first yellow card was soft. I understand it, but at the same point, I'm like the second tackle, that in itself is an automatic yellow. So he was so fortunate to get away with that. Mm-hmm. And I think he will know himself, but I do also think that maybe a Gabriel or maybe even a Declan Rice, as well as an Ødegaard or Jorginho, one of them experienced players needs to, as well as the manager, just maybe take him to one side and be like, look, you've provided an assist in that game that was a brilliant assist. We know how good you are. You know, you're 18 years old and you're starting over 4 or 5 other international level left backs. So you are important and you are vital. So just rein it, on the old Spinal Tap where it's 11. I'm like, go back to 10. Go back to 10. Because 11 for you, instead of hurting other teams, you're going to start hurting us. So just, rein it a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing against him with his flair or anything. It's just sometimes I'm like, you're a bit too, rush of blood in your head there, mate. Just wind it down.
I thought that, the timing in the game, because things can change very quickly in football. And I think that we were all getting a little bit worried, don't concede before halftime, don't go down to 10 men and have to play a second half and a little bit. And I think that Mikel Arteta got that decision absolutely right, because when things are going your way, when you're on the up, you're away from home, you're dominating the match, and the scoreline is in your favour, you haven't scored in your last 2 Premier League games, things are getting a little bit pressurised and stressed and tight. And I think even Miles Lewis-Skelly would probably think maybe a little bit of relief as well to not cost the team in any way. And Mikel Arteta makes a big decision, but the right decision for me. Right. So that was really the major talking point, and we'll get to the second one. But it was all quick today. Quick. It was like we went from the foxtrot to the maranga or something. It was all so. Here's what I took from this, James. I took that this team seemed a little angry in a good way, right?
100%.
They played with a chip on their shoulder, like they'd been hearing the noise. And there has been a lot of noise about the manager across all channels, all media outlets, pundits, everyone questioning Mikel. We questioned him, and of course, deservedly so, because one of the things that we talked about, which I thought was very productive, spoke to Kevin Hatchard about it yesterday too, is solutions. Once you're in adversity, once you are, hampered, how do you handle that as a manager? And he gets paid the big bucks. And it seemed to me that whatever they did in training this week, whatever they spoke about, they had the spirit, they had the passion, which I criticized for them not having against Forest, for not having against who did we play before?
West Ham.
It was West Ham. For lacking any type of ambition. They lacked any type of cohesiveness. There was no creativity. It was whatever they worked on, James. It's one of those games where you think, wow, chip on shoulder, whatever he said, however they've digested it, they've come together and boom, shakala, Arsenal's biggest ever result in Europe. And also PSV hadn't lost in 15 or 16 games at home. And I don't want to start hearing, oh, it's a shit PSV team. No. Kevin Hatchard said on the show last night, if Arsenal play to their optimum and their ability, their optimal ability, they will absolutely cruise through these two legs. But if we see the Arsenal that we saw against West Ham or Nottingham Forest, then he could see how PSV Eindhoven will kind of be able to be given an opportunity. But James, we played angry in a good way.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about the relief with the Lewis Skelly situation. They go 1-0 up with that one that smacked the the bar, and we could have a completely different podcast here, Sophie. So that in itself was another, little bit of stroke of luck there. But yeah, and I saw Demsek put it in the chat saying that Ødegaard mentioned how they worked about around the box and what have you. That was something I noticed today. I was like, do you know what? Trossard, when a cross is coming in, Trossard's following it in, but the fullback's following it in. I'm like, there's like 3 or 4. I'm like, there's options in the box. How many times this season have we got it out wide or whatever, Sophie, crossed it, and you're like, who's there? Nobody. The bit with John Travolta in Pulp Fiction where he's turning, he's like, where is everybody? That's how it feels sometimes. But I'm like, today there's 3 or 4 people all following the ball. I mean, the first goal, it's brilliant from Declan Rice, but Timber, he's got no right to win a header like that at his height. But he's like, no, do you know what? And like you said, nasty. He's like, have some of that as well. Like, really, it's not a kissed header. It's a have some of that header into the back. And I mean, obviously, because it's PSV and he's an Ajax boy, that means a lot to him as well. And he hit the old Jesus celebration as well there, as you've got in the middle of the picture. But just stuff like that, like you said, yeah, they've definitely heard the noise. They've all. You can't not have a social presence with Arsenal. I mean, we run social media, so they definitely see and hear everything. And yeah, like you said, I think they had a bit of a chip on their shoulder. A lot of people are saying the season's done, and they're just like, well, hang on a sec here. It's not done yet. We're not going to go down completely. The ship's not going to completely sink. We're gonna have a bit of a fight and a standoff. And some of the football and some of the goals that we scored today was absolutely crazy. And do you know what? After we come back from Dubai, I said to you, how are we having this holiday and we're looking so tired?
Yeah.
We didn't look tired today. I know that we had that, 6 or so day break since the last game or what have you. But I'm like, every single one of them to a man tonight looked refreshed, looked up for it, and played superbly.
Yeah. And Seb, we haven't been doing very well in the league either. Right, you play who's in front of you, and I hear some of you saying, but PSV are here. They're here, and at this point in the knockout stage of the Champions League, and this is the type of game that we've seen in the past, where call it a banana skin, call it what you want. They have talent. Kevin talked about their talent yesterday as well. But you're right, it was the perfect performance. Everyone was superb. The yellow was really soft. I think the referee knew that. I'll get some more of your comments. Mark, you made me laugh when you said that you got close with your 0-0 prediction. I thought that was very funny. I want to talk a little bit more about players who stepped up. I put this up earlier. For me, I want to start the tippy top, the man who has the most pressure and the most responsibility in this team, and that is the captain, Martin Ødegaard. He has been a shadow of himself. He hasn't been playing great. We want him to be that creative force, control the tempo of a game, have everyone on a string, and he just hasn't been able to do that. I have a little sneaky suspicion that maybe when he came back from his injury, James, he wasn't particularly 100% fit. But we're so thin on opportunities when it comes to creativity that, he's the type of guy that's probably been playing through a little bit of pain as well. I thought tonight, we have all been critical of Martin, maybe not critical, but concerned, I think is the word to use. And tonight I just felt like he bounced back, he led the team. But most importantly, James, he scored, and he scored 2 goals. And to see him playing the way that he did tonight, I thought was really refreshing and a relief.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've said it with you. I said it with Deluded Gooner on his channel the other day. For me, this guy, when he believes that he can be the best player in our team, the best player in the league. He can be whatever he wants to be. But for some reason, I mean, after that injury, we had that Chelsea game away, and he run that. You could see how much we missed him because he was superb. But since then, I couldn't tell you another performance that he's had up to the level that you would expect from Martin Ødegaard. Well, tonight you saw it. So if he keeps that up, you can look at it and think, well, do you know what? We might go far in this competition because he can be superb when he believes it. I mean, for weeks we've all been saying, why is he not shooting? This is a guy that got 15 goals a couple of seasons ago. And it's just like he's bereft of all confidence. Like, he doesn't want to hit it. He just wants to pass it sideways. He doesn't. And tonight, okay, this goalkeeper had Lurpak on his gloves from the start of the game. But but I've always said it, when it rains or like when it's snowy or whatever, take a pop, because you never know what's going to happen. Arteta and even Guardiola at the weekend, yet none of these journalists and media have gone on about him moaning about the ball. These balls now are just ridiculous. They all do ridiculous things. So just have a pop. See what happens. And he scored 2 very, very good goals tonight, but the assist as well, outside of the foot. That's classic Martin Ødegaard. I call it Ødegaard at the Palladium. When he's on there on a show and he's taking the piss like that, that's what I want to see every week, and I know he can do it. So I hope he kicks on, because it was a superb performance, and he needed that. Not just needed those goals, he needed a game like that, regardless of the opposition. He needed a game like that for himself to be like, right, okay. And I just hope he locks in now. Massive game on Sunday. That is the game in the Premier League for me. Classic rivalry. Let's go up there. Maybe not stuff them by 7, but let's kick them.
Maybe not. Why not? Why not?
Well, I'd love to see it, but yeah, let's punch them in the mouth a bit and see what happens.
Well, I think the key thing here is to not get excited about. I mean, to get excited, of course, enjoy the night, enjoy the victory. This is what sports is all about. We haven't really had much to enjoy so far this season, and these are the type of nights that you really enjoy. I guess the word I'm looking for is get carried away. But this is exactly the type of performance which we saw post Dubai, but in January last year, and we thought we would get the same result and the same kickoff. The injuries mentally, I think, have hurt the team as well as physically. And so this is the type of performance to really, really build on and have that confidence. Okay, this isn't playing Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid by any stretch of the imagination. But in the Premier League especially, just keep fighting, keep clawing, make sure that, you win as many games as possible. We needed a performance. Before the Premier League kind of felt like it was out of our grasp, James. I don't care about performance. I just want results. 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. That's all that matters. Keep the pressure on Liverpool, right? And even mathematically, it is still possible. It's going to be difficult, right, for them to drop points. It's not happening. I think we've all resigned ourselves to the fact that Liverpool probably win the Premier League. But in the Champions League, I felt like we needed a performance tonight. It was really bad against West Ham. It wasn't great against Forest. We don't have a recognised striker. We haven't been able to create chances. Our best players haven't shown up. Our defence has looked a little shaky, and that confidence just wasn't there. So tonight, I felt that, yes, the result was the most important thing, get through to the next round. But just for the players and their confidence, I felt like we needed a performance, and they over-delivered on the performance side for me.
Yeah, 100% agree. No, it was the best in a very, very long time, and it just like I said earlier, to a man, like multiple players, and some of the goals we scored as well. I'm like, the Trossard one, it's unbelievable. I mean, the pass from Calafiori is great, but then to dink the keeper like that's filthy, absolute filth finish. But what a goal! And it's all people that Nwaneri's brilliant anyway. I mean, God, we can have a whole.
We're going to talk about him. Yeah,
we can have a whole another 30, 40 minutes about him on his own. So
there's 200 of you in live chat. Please do kiss that like button, give it a hug, and love a huddle after a game. So give it a cuddle. Let's huddle and give it a cuddle. Mark says Ødegaard admitted in the post-game interview that he's been off form. He will be his own worst critic without us fans piling in. Demsek also let us know that Mikel said that he did bring off Miles Lewis-Skelly to protect him and to protect the game, and rightly so. If you have any other quotes from the gaffer, please do share them with us. And our brother from down under, Georgie George, says there's a cyclone coming. So please make sure that you do listen to your local governments down there, Aussie Gooners. And a cyclone went through Eindhoven, but for a positive. So please stay safe, our Aussie Gooners, from this cyclone that seems to be heading your way. Very, very scary. Please listen to our chief like officer. We can do better. Right. By the way, we'll get to it at the end, but start thinking about your favorite goal, Gooners. You have 7 to choose from. That's right. This is where I should have had the Monica Friends gift. 7, 7, 7. Ready to go. I can't believe I missed that. Should have made it the thumbnail, maybe. Let's talk about Nwaneri. He is really special. What a player. His finish was unbelievable. But aside from that, James, the way he applies himself in a game, the confidence that he has, is quite extraordinary for a player so young. And I don't want to look in the rearview mirror tonight because, as you guys know, I only use the rearview mirror to check my lipstick. But it makes you wonder about those games when Ødegaard wasn't fit and he was available to us. Maybe Mikel was a little bit worried about putting him in the spotlight because that comes with an insurmountable amount of pressure, doesn't it, to have that responsibility to fill the boots of the captain of the club. But nothing phases these kids. Nothing phases him. This is Saka level talent that I'm seeing. And I'm not overstating it. I'm not getting overexcited, you guys. James, Nwaneri's game tonight, talk to me about finding spaces, what he does off the ball. And by the way, I'm going to clip it for everyone. Kevin Hatchard said, and I quote from last night's show, James, you can back me up. Off the ball, he thinks Arsenal are the best team in Europe. I was floored. Now, you have to go listen to the episode where he explains it. If someone's going to know,
it's going to be him.
He's brilliant. And talk to me about Nwaneri's game. Tell me, get your tactical brain on.
So if I probably, I'm at risk anyway. Hashtag Danny's coming for me already tonight. So I'm probably at risk of upsetting or causing controversy as per anyway. I'm going to go early on this, but stick with me. That second half, when he ran through and he hit the one and the goalkeeper, it was one of the ones the goalkeeper actually did save. Have you seen a player sprint like that and hit the ball with his left foot for Arsenal since Lucas Podolski? That hard. Now, bear in mind, he's 18. Is he 18, right?
Yeah, he's going to be 18. He's still 17.
The power.
Skelly's 18.
the power in the shot. I mean, he cracked a few from distance tonight, which I'm like, that, you know, we're not used to people shooting outside the box, so that in itself is exciting. But the power in this guy's legs is insane. And like you said, nothing phases him, but you're seeing experienced level players backing away from him. They're frightened of him. And, you know, Owen Hargreaves, about what, 2-3 games ago in the Champions League for TNT over here, he said, look, he reminds me of somebody who come into a team at a very young age, and we all know what that player went and become. And he said, I don't want to mention his name because when you do, you're just putting yourself out there. But I'm like, I don't think he's wrong. I look at Lamine Yamal and I look at him and I think to myself, out of the two youngest players that get compared to that one great player, I think these two are the benchmark for it. I think they're I just think he's insane, Sophie. You are spot on. There's that massive what if of if you saw this sooner or gave him more minutes. And those two games, it was Leicester and it was Southampton as well, wasn't it, where he could have played. So it was like they were good oppositions to maybe bed him in for. But now he's here and he's playing. It's crazy. And I mean, if Saka was to somehow miraculously get fit tomorrow, you're looking at it going, well, are we going to move Skelly to the left-hand side and drop Trossard and put Saka on the... Because I'm like, do you get in over him at the moment? Because this guy's taken your mantle and he's running with it. And I don't think he wants to let it go. So someone's got to give. So who's going to give? That's a great option. That's what I want. I want Mikel Arteta to be sat there scratching his head going, blimey, I don't know who I'm going to pick because I've got so many good players. Because that's what Liverpool do. Liverpool's best strength is the options that they have up front, and they can swap them as much as they like and they all score goals. That's what we need to strive to be. And with this kid in our team, it's just only going to go up because he's insane, Sophie. He is such a good player. I mean, I've seen a lot of people say to me, where do you rank him in terms of these Arsenal young players that you've seen? I've got to say, as much as I dislike the guy, Cesc Fabregas running a midfield after a great, one of the best players I've ever seen in an Arsenal shirt, Patrick Vieira, that to me is still the top tier, but he's definitely second or third with Saka in the best that I've seen come through in my lifetime of watching. I put him above Wilshere right now. I think he's so good. I think you're muted.
I am muted. In terms, I don't. Okay, here we go, squaddies. Let's have an honest conversation here, right? This is what you can do when you win 7-1. You start talking about all sorts of stuff. I don't think there's been a get me off my feet player since Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez used to get me off my butt and on my feet. I found him to be exceptionally riveting and exciting. And whenever he got the ball, I just felt something was going to happen. Nwaneri makes me feel the same. Now, he's got a long way to go, of course, in his career and establishing himself even more so at Arsenal. I don't think for a second he takes Saka's place. Until Saka's like match fit, of course, maybe he'll be starting. However, I have a question for you guys, just because of the X factor that he has, that he brings to the table, the confidence that he plays with. Why would you want to extract that from this squad? If anything, you find a way to make sure that he can play within the system. Could he play on the left, or
I believe when he was a youth player, he always played either on the left-hand side or as an 8. So
let me ask you this though: could he be a number 9? Physically, he's very strong.
I think he's like Saka in the point of view of, even if you put gloves on him, he's probably going to give you an 8 out of 10. He's just one of these crazy anomaly type of players, isn't he? So yeah, I mean, look at the power he's generating in his shots and look at his finishes. You know, some of them are, you know, curling them in top bins. Some of them are side foot, you know, like that Henri specials that we see. So I have no question if he can play as a 9 or not. However, I know that Arsenal currently, in this current format, like a 9 that they can hit to. And obviously, aerially, he's never going to win that battle, same as Saka. So I think, you know, we like to have a presence, don't we? That's why, obviously, Moreno is getting the games up front at the moment, even though he's not in any way, shape, or form a forward. However, he took that goal tonight like prime Raul. He's only up there from the point of view of it's someone that David De Gea can hit long.
It's amazing to me. He was Barry before he went off. I feel like, wow, this is very, you try to contain yourself as a fan, right? Because every team wants to have that kind of elite level player, the X factor player. And, you know, Saka has, you know, played himself into becoming a world-class player, had all the talent, had the X factor, worked hard, keeps his head down, brilliant off the pitch, doesn't get involved, you know, going to a club in Newcastle late at night, doesn't do any of that type of stuff. You feel the same with Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri in terms of the discipline, the professionalism, the way they're built in. But you mentioned Lamine Yamal and stuff, and he gets lauded. He gets lauded by Barcelona fans, and he did it on the biggest stage, like, period, for his country. And I think it's okay to get excited. I think because we've seen, like, Jack Wilshere should have been that guy. You know, Charlie Patino, so much excitement beforehand, could have been that guy. Emile Smith-Rowe was going to be that quintessential, like, number 10 at the Arsenal and wear that shirt for years. So for those reasons, I think we need to be cautious. But I think it's okay to say, you know what? And I hear it from everyone. There is no one who isn't saying, who isn't an Arsenal fan, that kid is special, that you just see something so different. He is special, James. He's next level special. He's 17 years old, mate.
This is it. As I'm like, if he's this good and he's this important and he's doing this much of the business already, what's he going to be like when he fills out and becomes a man? I mean, he's scored or assisted 9 goals already, so he's been more involved in goals for Arsenal than any other player before the age of 18. So that in itself, I mean, he's part of the history now, regardless. It's just adding, you know, the trinkets and the pots to it. That's the next step, not just for him, but for this whole side. But I mean, again, like you said, people are saying here he can develop as a 9. He can develop. Yeah, you can play him anywhere. I mean,
he seems to me like Wayne Rooney in that. He seems to me like a total footballer. Yeah. This kid could play anywhere, right?
And they're very rare. Like, since Wayne Rooney, you can't really put a stamp on somebody. You know, I looked at Foden sometimes and thought, is he the next sort of like Rooney? Where
not
it's
a chance.
But no, not after this. After that Euros, no way. I'm like, you need the pieces around you. You can't pull it on. You can't drag the game by the scruff of the neck on your own. And I'm like, I think then where he could. I think there could be a point towards the end of this season where Nwaneri's going to do something in the game for us that's going to either save us or it's going to be a 1-0, but it's going to be because he's curled 1 top bins or something. He's got that maverick, like you've said, special talent. I mean, with Rooney, it was just like you're bringing stuff that you're doing in the street onto a professional pitch. And yeah, he is so strong as well for that age, because he's bouncing these men off him like they're nothing. It's crazy. Like that. I mean, I never rated that Malacia when he was at Man United anyway, but he absolutely terrorized that guy tonight. He just left him for dust.
He did. You know, Nwaneri has that. Explain this. That worldliness vibe about his football. to me, I think Foden, right? I think he's a great player. He's a really good player. But you've seen that if the system doesn't work, Foden doesn't work, right? Yeah. It's kind of like, a defunct Terminator machine. Saka carries a team, puts a team on his shoulders. No matter how we're playing, he's carried the team. Foden has carried games. Saka has carried a team. He's carried a season. I think Nwaneri has that worldliness to his game that Anthony Gordon doesn't have. I don't, people wanted to tell me about Madueke and Cole Palmer and Anthony Gordon, and you made that point that day on the show as well. Who are they comparing him to? It's Saka, right? Because the question was, do they, are they going to surpass him? Do they excel more than him? Why aren't they starting in the England setup, et cetera, et cetera? I think Nwaneri has the Saka chip that differentiates between those other players. And I think that is what is the X factor, what makes him so special.
Yeah, I mean, I've got images in my head right now that Saka's doing, Rocky IV style in the snow montage training, because he's probably looking at Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri going,
keep talking,
chuck me in with them. Do you know what I mean? Imagine him playing with these two. Because he's vibing at home watching them. You can see all the time how excited and happy he is. So imagine when he comes back and plays with these two. Hopefully, there was part of me that thought he's not going to kick a ball this season for us. But you know what? I look at it and I think to myself, he's probably, like I mentioned before, he's going to be like Ian Wright, and that he's going to injure himself in later life to come back to try and win us something. Because that's the kind of character that he is.
Yeah, well, we need to wrap him up in bubble wrap.
Carrying a team, Saka will put a team on his back and run with it, won't he?
Totally. Okay, I'll tell you what. I was also happy for Mikel Merino tonight, and sorry guys, I haven't been feeling well. I've been suffering from a cold and stuff, which is why I'm kind of hunched down and cozied up. I was really happy for Mikel Merino tonight because I think that he's been put in a very difficult position. It's his first season with the Arsenal, and he wasn't excelling. Had some nice, neat games. Scored a couple of really nice goals, but in the midfield position, really where his natural kind of, hey, here's why we bought you, dude, to come in and play midfield. Now is playing in that striker position, which, by the way, these players don't complain, don't go public, they just play, right? They take on the baton, whatever I need to do for the team. And I was really happy for him tonight, James. I'm not saying he had a beyond brilliant game, but just to get a goal and to be alert. I mean, it was just so bad, that defensive play, that passage of play there. But he was alert and he took it confidently. I mean, it was an easy finish. But really happy to see Mikel Merino get a goal.
Yeah, and if that kicks him on, because whether I like it, you like it, the fans like it, he's the option at the moment. So he's going to play there. So the more he scores and the more confidence he gets, I mean, I don't think that goal would have been allowed in the Premier League. I don't know how they didn't rule this out. I mean, they took long enough.
Listen, we deserve a little bit of luck, don't we?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I don't know how that got given, but at the same point, he took it well. And, he done his job. You're playing up front for the Arsenal. Can you score me a goal? Yes, I can. Regardless of the circumstances, yes, I can. There you go. So, yeah, like I mentioned earlier about Ødegaard kicking on, that's what we need. We need from him, because he's going to be the centre forward for us for the next couple of weeks until either someone comes back and we either go back to Trossard being the false nine. But I mean, there's a few people in this chat, and I think that's a conversation that we need to have, Sophie, because there was a man that's, again, he's also not doing very well in the position we brought him in, but he can score some really good goals. He scores
Okay,
some. He
so
doesn't score a bad goal, Soph. All of
yeah,
his goals he scored this season are fantastic.
I
He
don't have
does
a
not
picture
score
of him.
rubbish
I ran
goals.
out of time. I ran out of time. But before we get to him, another player, real quick, and I just realised we've been talking for 40 minutes, and I'm like, well, go out and do a nice 30 minutes. We won 7-1. What is there to talk about? There's a lot to talk about. By the way, the show is also live tomorrow, 7:15 UK time. Please don't miss it. We have Adam Matic from FUTV coming on to preview the Manchester United Arsenal game. So we'll be back together again tomorrow night, 7:15. Adam has been on the show a couple of times. You guys really liked him. And we'll have a really good chat. I thought Trossard was really good tonight, James, and he really needed a good game. I think, again, with Saka out, Havertz out, Martinelli out, Trossard, a lot expected of him, hadn't really delivered. I actually thought he's been trying his best, maybe over trying sometimes. But tonight, really good game and very nice goal.
Yeah, I said it, didn't I, last time I was here? The last couple of weeks since he threw his wobbler at the start of the season and everything else like that, I've been really disappointed with him. But when he's come in now and he's actually starting and playing, I'm normally that person that will go, do you know what? He's better off the bench, isn't he? But he's starting games now and he's influencing them and he's doing a good job. So yeah, like I said earlier as well, that finish was filth. Absolutely sat the keeper on his bum and lobbed him. It can't get better than that.
Yeah, it was vintage Leo, and it was really nice to see. And by the way, David, where is it? You wrote something, David, here. It's true. Merino played 4 games as a centre forward. He scored 3 times.
Facts.
I mean,
you can't dispute it.
You can't dispute that, and he really deserves it. I don't know what this conversation between Demsek and someone, an inevitable King Mo.
Yeah, I can't have Liverpool fans are generally calm and calculated.
Is he?
I don't.
Is he? Or is it a bit of a Barney going on in the live
well,
chat?
he's saying that about Liverpool fans in general. I think he needs to read a history book because Liverpool fans weren't calm and calculated when they got English clubs banned from Europe, were they? That's all I'll say on that.
All right. Another player who, let's see, what have I got? Have I squeezed a picture of him in here tonight? No, but you know what? Calafiori. I mean, this dude is like, I don't know who to compare him to. You know, when you have, a comp item, right? So it's funny because in the film industry, when we're doing a release campaign, to book it into theaters, they want you to comp it, right? Or if you're trying to raise finance for a film, they want you to comp it. So if you're making Goodfellas, of course you're going to comp it to Godfather or whatever. I don't know who to comp Calafiori. I don't know. He's literally Forrest Gump scene on the bench with the box of chocolates. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never quite know what you're going to get.
I don't understand how we've got somebody that's so bad at the job that we bought him for. Yet you get him near that, near that box, and when he powers through people, and then just the finishing, it's crazy. He's so good. He's so good at scoring goals in the box. It's madness. Like the one against Nottingham Forest, really, really unlucky. But yeah, tonight, again, the no-look pass was insane from Ødegaard to begin with, but that's not an easy finish to do. And he tucks it away just like with ease. It's mad.
What? Okay, so just like at the top of the show, I asked all of you guys, can Nwaneri be the number 9? I mean, is Calafiori, is it a case of, Saka did play left back a lot under Emery, we know who he became. Gareth Bale played left back at Tottenham. Harry Redknapp changed him into what we know he became. Now, I'm not comparing Calafiori to those two players, just positionally. Has he been playing the wrong position his whole career so far? I mean, he's only 22, but should he be a left forward?
I wouldn't be against it because the further he gets up the pitch, the more lethal he is. I think he can do a job. I think he could do a job as a 9. I've seen enough sample size that I'm like, give him the ball in the box and he will do something. He's got like a very instinctive 1-2 touch bang sort of finish in his locker. But yeah, I'm like, give him a chance.
Do you know what's really funny is and yeah, I agree. Was it Vitesse? Someone look. We killed Zinchenko, right? And Calafiori. I'm going to tell you at this phase, I would rather Zinchenko's defending than Calafiori's defending. Maybe that's a big stream for everybody. Hold your horses. Do you know who he reminds me of? And please, I'm not comparing talent, but the physicality that he has, because he's really quite a physical specimen. He's strong, he's strong in the air. He's got the muscles. He's got the low sense of gravity. I think that physically, he could be in an Avengers movie. He looks he's quite imposing. It reminds me of Gabriel Batistuta.
Oh, I mean, looks wise.
I didn't say talent.
No, I know. Yes.
Physically.
Yes. Oh, no, you're spot on. Yeah.
I think he has, when I look at Haaland, right? The number 9 role. When I look at Kane, right? I mean, he puts it about Kane. He's not as, to me, Calafiori has the physique of a 9.
Yeah, definitely. No, I don't disagree with you there. I mean, Gabriel Batistuta is
best header of the ball ever.
I've got someone here saying so does Jeff. Thank you, Ian. I do have long hair and I'm not as physically imposing as Calafiori or Haaland. But
listen,
yeah.
I wasn't.
I'm a good 6'3" in boots, but yeah.
I hope people remember that scene from White Men Can't Jump. You're listening, but can you hear me? I'm not saying he's Batistuta. Just physically, he reminds me of Gabriel.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on.
Batistuta. Yeah. Let's see. Quality chat and discussion show intelligent debate and insights. Even the shaggy ones has the insights. Amazon Andy, where's my package?
I win them back round eventually. They hate me to begin with, and then by the end, I normally 9 times out of 10 I win them round.
I love it. They love you too. Mario Kempes. Here we go. They're going to start coming out with them. Batistuta, James. I mean, seriously, I love that player. That's a whole other show. But the best header of the ball since Batistuta is Ronaldo 9.
Yeah.
7, not 9. 7. 7. It's a number tonight. Let's see. Elliot, big up. Sophie and LL Cool James. What a smackdown laid out on their candy asses. And that's the bottom line. It really is.
Love the wrestling references. Very, very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Albert JTV in the house. Yes, as he would say. I'll tell you something. If you're lucky enough to get a WhatsApp voice note from Albert, you are living a blessed life.
Make my day.
Because let me tell you, it makes one's day. So, and then the giggle kicks in, the laugh kicks in. He's unbelievable. Absolutely love it. Right. Who else do we want to talk about? So we've talked about Ødegaard. We've talked about Merino. We talked about Nwaneri, Miles Lewis-Skelly. I want to just squeeze this one in because I don't want to end on a negative. But Thomas Partey, what was he thinking? And but remember, you guys, last time, by the way, this was Saka's Instagram post.
Glass.
Giving you all the tunes. Thomas Partey. Last time James was here, he was like, no. Partey over. Don't want to sign him for another year. I mean, he has been one of our best midfielders, but he lost his head in a moment. And it didn't cost us, James, but it did. Nerves crept in. We all saw the social media posts from Arsenal fans, 3-1, wanted to hold it to 3-1 and go in at half-time without conceding another one. It was a silly moment from such a experienced player.
That's why I said that he doesn't deserve the 1 more year, because he's only getting more slower, and he's only going to go one way. So as much as at the start of this season and bits and bobs here and there, I mean, I thought him and Rice second half were brilliant anyway, shielding that, back four and everything else. I thought they were fantastic. I thought Rice, if Ødegaard obviously didn't get his goal and that assist, I had Declan Rice as clear man of the match, Sophie. He was just everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. There weren't a blade of grass I don't think he didn't touch. He was just everywhere.
His assist for the Timber goal was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and then I love Big Gabby. Like, I know you just created an amazing goal and a great assist. I don't know what he was saying to him, but I love that exchange, because Rice was like, yeah, mate. Yeah, let me just go celebrate. No, mate. And I loved that moment.
Yeah.
Probably one of my most favourite moments.
They got clipped up, didn't they? Because they had a bit of a ding dong after the Forest game. And I'm but I'm like, you need that. I saw people complaining about that. I'm like, no. I'm like, you need that. I'm like, the comparison I made when I was with DG at the weekend, I said to him, Andy Cole and Teddy Sheringham still hate each other now. But I'm like, sometimes it's all about, what me and you might not get along, but for the greater good. Do you know what I mean? I think, what was it? Lauren and Lee Dixon didn't like each other, but for the greater good, put it to one side. We got stuff to win. We got stuff to play for. Do you know what I mean? We got, bigger fish to fry than all this petty stuff between me and you. So, yeah.
Kev used to tell us all the time that shit happened.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, it's and I loved it. I loved that. I really loved that moment. Ian asked for Vespa. Hit the like button. And he
should have had Vespa in goal for the penalty. I mean, Reyes, after his Porto shootout, I think he's gone. I'm checked out with penalties now. Yeah, I'm not.
And don't mess with me. Samurai Sophie's back. I'm telling you, hit that like button. Otherwise, there'll be trouble. Okay, so Declan was brilliant. He was. I thought, let's do our man of the match. I want to keep this under an hour. I'm determined to keep it under an hour. We're going to be back tomorrow as well. We can do this one, James. So, and it was lovely to see Benjamin White come back on. He got booted, and I was a little bit worried about that. But it's really weird. I had a dream. I don't usually dream about football. And last night, I had this dream that he scored this amazing, goal. It was like a FIFA goal. He took it from the right back position and did the, well, that's how I play, by the way. I'm useless. And it was good to see him. My man of the match is Declan Rice.
I don't know where he's been, because we come back from Dubai ages ago.
It's a spray tan.
I don't know. I look at it and just think,
well, he's not getting in England, is he?
He must be getting it. He must be going somewhere, because he's radiating. The guy is insane.
I think he gets like a spray tan, but
it's got to be Ron Seal, hasn't it? It can't be.
There's single cream. There's single cream. There's double cream. He's getting a double spray tan. I almost said something there that I shouldn't. But yeah. Who's your man of the match, everyone? Ethan, man of the match. Vesperea, man of the match is Ethan. He's got his own sunbed. I don't think he's silly enough to be going on a sunbed. A spray tan is a lot healthier than a sunbed. But yeah, probably. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll ask. Soph, don't go over the Albert knows. He knows I'm twitching right now. Soph, don't go over. We've had these discussions before. I love it. Declan Rice for you, Declan Rice for me. Could be Ødegaard, could have been Ethan. You know what?
It's other than Partey and it's easily Ødegaard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Captain Fantastic gets the man of the match.
You've wanted him to pull numbers for weeks, and he's done that tonight. I can't knock him at all. He was superb. It's just now kick on, because I need that Martin Ødegaard every week now until the end of the season.
It's a beautiful thing to see. It really is. I love it. You've convinced me. You know what? For me, everyone's man of the match except Miles Lewis-Skelly and Thomas Partey.
And Sterling. Sorry.
And Sterling and Raya.
I mean, the first thing Sterling done when he come off the bench was kill our attack dead. And I'm like, brilliant. There we go. I'm like, that just sadly sums you up, doesn't it, Raheem, unfortunately?
Luckily, we were in a position where we didn't really need him to do anything. James is great as ever.
You got that Butler or your Deji or Cabia on the bench there, but let's bring Sterling on. I was like, okay. I thought to myself, when are you ever going to get a chance to bring one of these two kids on for the rest of the season? Because it's all a bit very competitive and everything. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, you're 6-7-1 up. Now's the time. Bring one of these kids on, bed them in, because you never know. Like we're talking about Nwaneri tonight. That Cabby or Butler or Ødegaard in a 3 weeks' time, we could be sat here going, "Oh, ain't he brilliant? Look at what he can do. Oh, these Haaland." But yeah, they just, and I don't mind, Tierney, great cameo again. Every game he comes on, he puts in a brilliant cross. That guy,
I'm telling you, he's
still puts a ball on a sixpence for somebody. It's mad.
Yeah,
I'll miss him.
He's so good.
I love a bit of Tierney. Scottish bias,
too.
I know, but I love Tierney.
James, let everyone know where they can find you.
Yes,
I haven't done very well with my pop-ups today, but
right.
It's 91, isn't it?
That's it. That's me. Yep. And then all the links are in the bio there if you want to come and join. Thank you, because a lot of people did come over after our discussion last week on You Here, and then our discussion with me, and then obviously Ødegaard got involved. Had a great discussion with him. So yes, the loving as much as the hating has been good, but I like it either way. As long as you're talking about me, I don't care.
I love it. Please go follow James, support him, and thanks so much for hopping on with me. Because I wasn't feeling tip top, but whenever I kind of lob you a note, you're always ready to hop on the post game and get yourself in the hot seat. You
know me. If you ask, I will be here if I can. So, schedule depending, but yes.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, squaddies, for joining. Really appreciate you. Mark, you'll be able to ask him because Jason will be on the show next week. Is that the week we play Chelsea? He's going to be on the week we play Chelsea. So you guys can go at it with him, and he loves it. So maybe I'll bring some of you into the studio so you can ask him questions, as long as you promise not to be,
I think go for pre-recorded questions for that one, Sophie. In my honest opinion, I think giving live mics with Cundy is not a good idea.
I love it.
Yeah. You need to get his old Chelsea mate Burley on. That's the one I want to see on here.
Just saying.
Burley on here would be amazing.
Just saying. Hold the mayo on that one. Hold the mayo because. Good. Yeah, I love Craig's despite what people think about Stevie and Craig, they think they're like these old curmudgeon Scottish guys. They are the loveliest humans.
Yeah.
And I know people won't like this, but Jason really is a good human, like on a human to human level. Remember, he riles people up for a reason. But I do tell him when he's been naughty. So don't you worry about it, kids. Mark said he'll be gentle with him. Good morning, good night, no matter where in the world you are. Thanks, bro. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in from all corners of the earth. And remember, we have a lovely, beautiful, kind community here. You guys are just absolutely brilliant. I love you to pieces. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to hang out on the Highbury Squad. To all of our new subscribers, I hope you're enjoying the show. We've got plenty of great guests coming as well in the near future over the coming weeks, which I think that you'll love and you'll enjoy tons and tons. Tomorrow night, 7:15 UK time, FUTV's Adam Matic will be here with us to preview the Manchester United game. And I think later on in the week, Flex will be coming on as well. We're trying to figure that out. It is a big match, and we need to make sure that we win that. Manchester United are in the mud. So I thought we'd take two opportunities to have a pop at them before the big game this weekend. Squaddies, don't forget to tell your loved ones you love them. I'll see you tomorrow night. James, thank you so much. Don't forget to go follow him at Ease Squaddies, at Ease. And Mikel Arteta, well done. You earned a portion of that £15 million tonight. Whatever you did this week, whatever you said to the team, whatever you did in training, you deserve a lot of credit because we've been absolutely abysmal. We haven't been scoring goals and you galvanized this team. So, Gaffer, you get a 10 out of 10 tonight. Good night, squaddies.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.